Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Andrew from the Market Mindset here from Fire Business News Global, December 6th, our midweek chat. Canada's resource-heavy main stock index has advanced today as most of the precious metals, including gold, gained. But we're awaiting the Bank of Canada's monetary policy later today to see what that turns up. And of course, Wall Street futures are up a bit today too, as people still remain very hopeful that the Fed has started to ease off. That certainly seems to be being priced into the market, along with a lot of wins on the tech side. And make no mistake, that tech side is AI right now. European shares were in the green as well, led by miners, and a big boost by Volkswagen itself, which is interesting because we talk a lot about these things. It's time for mining. Its time is coming. The sooner you realize that, what it's going to take for all of these car companies, all of these buses, you name it, every form of transportation is going to require mining. Never mind, once again, AI requires mining. The Nikkei ended sharply higher as well, as a lot of chip-related stocks had been taking a bit of a beating over the last little while, and they're slightly bowing back in. The U.S. dollar has held steady against other currencies, but oil prices have fallen. Now, the big news right now is COP28 is in full swing. Lots of interesting things happening. You can check over on our channel. We have lots of updates, lots of little reports and points of view as we are sitting in on a lot of McKinsey shows to see what's happening. A lot of interesting things, a lot of delusional things as usual as well. Remember, you're only being invited to these types of events if you have a very specific political ideology. It's that simple. So you're going to get one shop thinking, and that's fine. But we did see a lot of pushback by some in there, so make sure you check it out. Big developments in the U.S. as they limit China's ability to benefit from the electric vehicle subsidy from the U.S. The Biden administration has created new rules just on Friday, the past Friday, in regards to really focusing on U.S. companies. And that's what they really want to do. Now, of course, there's some movement for CATL in Michigan as the town that really wants that battery station to be built in Michigan just got rid of their old town board and put in a new one because they want this to move forward. This is, of course, a very complicated strategy. CATL or CATL is a Chinese firm. They are on a massive growth spurt. They're the leader in these phosphate batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries, all sorts of batteries. They're looking at solid state batteries right now as well, which you've got up on our website too. I don't want to get into too much about that, but we can see that the U.S. is clamping down. And this is interesting because a company we really like, First Phosphate, they come out flat and say that they want to work with the U.S. And I think a lot of Canadian mining companies that have these critical metals that are looking for them or have them should be reaching out to U.S. Not only government agencies, but also companies to say, listen, if you need nickel, if you need graphite, if you need this, we want to be the vertically integrated path for you. Not very close by. We don't need to ship things. We can just rail them down. So anyways, without going on too much of a tangent on that, this is developing. We've been waiting on our side for these to really take hold and fruition, and we're starting to see it happen. Today as well, big news, Bank of America, Bank of New York, Mellon Corp, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, State Street, Wells Fargo, you name it, they're all in front of Congress today. We did a reaction video with Jamie Dimon there for JP Morgan. They're talking about everything, human rights, climate change, mortgages, all sorts of financial products, the stability. They've got obviously huge concerns regarding some legislation that's coming in regard banking and regulations, and also huge concerns over where interest rates are with the Fed. Never mind for just looking at mortgages. I mean, we can see the devastation in Canada, but it's going to affect the U.S. in huge ways. And deal flow. I mean, it's hard to get deal flow done when rates are so high. People aren't used to that. So, in part, I think what people are thinking is that this trillions of dollars sitting on the sideline is waiting for more of a sign from the Fed to say, listen, we're going to start flowing money back in. Let's start going 2024 is going to be, if nothing, very chaotic and exceptionally exciting. ExxonMobil as well. They are, are being highlighted as well because they've rejected some of the claims by the International Energy Agency about carbon capture. Now, this once again, there's a huge debate over this. It's a very interesting matter. If you can, capture carbon and store it, so remove it, then that you have every right to use that as a form of technology to cut emissions. What is wrong is that a lot of these people just don't want there to be any drilling anymore. They don't want to use oil and gas, regardless of if it's cleaner, if it's better, if it's this, if it's that. So they just have it out. They don't want to do it. What's interesting about that, and I'm always shocked at, none of them want to talk about Nord Stream 2, the largest economical environmental disaster that's ever occurred, and nobody wants to talk about it. Even Greta doesn't want to go out and talk about that. So everyone knows BP. They made a movie about the terrible disaster in the Gulf of Mexico, which was terrible and also handled awfully. I hated BP at that point as well for how they came across, how it was handled, you name it. Nothing. Whispers. I even know brokers that didn't even know Nord Stream 2 blew up or went defunct. Anyways, don't get me started on that. Kinder Morgan talking about pipelines. They beat earnings. They were up about 11% from $1.09 to $1.21. Also, along the same lines, Toyota, the Japanese automaker, said they will keep on increasing their battery electric vehicles. They'll have 6 models by 2026, and they expect 20% of their sales to be from that. So once again, we're seeing this adoption rate. It's happening. And also following the same kind of theme is Stellantis. So Stellantis NV, their Symbio, the hydrogen mobility joint venture between European car maker Forvia and Michelin, has inaugurated Europe's largest gigafactory for hydrogen fuel cells in France. This will be known as Symphony or Symphon HY, and it'll produce about 50,000 fuel cells by the year 2026. So also we've seen a lot of good news from Salesforce and Snowflake. We'll put these up here because I don't want to go into too much detail, but lots of good things happening with all these companies that are integrating AI. And upon that note, Accenture on Wednesday announced that they've joined forces with Unilever to work on implementing strategies and efficiencies with their AI lab Horizon 3 labs. And that has recently opened in Toronto. And it's going to be, a place to explore new applications for generative AI. And overall, Accenture has put in about $3 billion into AI. And we're looking at some of the companies we like. We have a video up on Versus that is working on AI solutions with their Wayfinder app, which we're hoping to see some revenue come out soon. But they're also got their Genius, their AGI, that we're waiting to see what develops with that. We had a chance to maybe get them in front of Accenture, as I know a managing director over at Accenture, but they passed on that, which is a little bit disconcerting. But anyways, it'll be an interesting December to see what is happening with AI, what is happening with Versus. And as we get into 2024, it's tax loss selling time or tax harvesting time. So there's going to be some opportunities to look at some real companies as they may come down a bit and start positioning yourself for 2024. Go check in with your advisor, your stockbroker, your planner. Make sure you consult with them and to see what kind of strategies work for you. And hey, take a look at our video where we discussed Bitcoin as well. It's pretty edgy. I've got a lot of opinions on it. We always like to have some opinions, make people think of things in a different perspective. We're glad to have you here, and we look forward to talking to you next week.